Russian officials. Ukraine attacked Crimea with USmade ATACMS missiles.
Israel vows to storm Rafah with or without ceasefire agreement.
Trend of multiple jobs, multitasking skills among youth people.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I am Huang Yan, and here we go, the first step live of the show. The Russian TASS news agency reported that Russian officials said that Ukraine had attacked Crimea with U.S.-produced Army tactical missile systems in the early hours of April 30th, but all were intercepted by Russian air defense forces.
Two Russian military channels on Telegram stated that about 11 to 15 ATACMS were launched from Berislav in the Kherson region of southern Ukraine with the goal of destroying Russian air defense systems in Crimea. Russian military ministry also said that 10 Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles, 6 ATACMS tactical missiles manufactured by the United States, and 2 guided Hammer aircraft bombs manufactured by France were shot down by its air defenses. The ATACMS missiles, with a range of up to 300 kilometers, were transferred to Ukraine from the U.S. at the beginning of 2024 as part of a $300 million weapon package approved by U.S. President Joe Biden in mid-March. The Russian military predicts that further attacks may continue, including the possibility of a major offensive against the Crimea Bridge by Ukraine ahead of President Vladimir Putin's inauguration for a new term next week.
Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to go ahead with the long-promised assault on the southern Gaza city of Rafah with or without a deal with Hamas.
Netanyahu made the statement during a conversation with relatives of the hostages taken by Hamas. The idea that we will halt the war before achieving all of its goals is out of the question. We will enter Rafah and we will eliminate the Hamas battalions there with or without a deal in order to achieve the total victory. Netanyahu's determination to launch an attack on Rafah, where more than 1 million Gaza Palestinians displaced from their homes are seeking shelter, threatens the prospect of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, which has been increasing in recent days. Netanyahu's statement came just hours before U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Israel on his 7th visit to the Middle East during nearly 7 months of the Hamas-Israel conflict. However, when asked, the U.S. Secretary of State did not comment directly on Netanyahu's statement. Instead, he said the U.S. priority is to reach a ceasefire agreement and release the hostages.
On April 30th, forest fires broke out in Thanh and Nam districts in Nghệ An province. Hundreds of people were mobilized to extinguish the fires through the night. On the morning of 30th April, the fire started in the forest area of Thanh Thanh district. The fire spread quickly to the forest area of Nam in Nam district. The authorities mobilized around 700 people to extinguish the fires through the night. By 4 a.m. this morning, the fires were controlled. However, due to thick vegetation, the burning is still moldering. This morning, the fire flares up again. Firefighting forces were mobilized to approach the scenes and contain the flames. By noon today, the forest fire in Nam had been extinguished. According to the initial statistics, the fire caused damages to over 8.5 hectares, mostly acacia, eucalyptus, pine, reed, and shrubs. About 1.5 hectares of forest are irrecoverable. Upcoming are some updated news. According to the Department of Tourism, during the 5-day holiday of Reunification Day and International Labor Day, April 30th and May 1st, Nghệ An province welcomed around 950,000 tourists, total revenue estimated at 1.7 trillion VND. As reported by the Management Board of Kim Lin Historical Site, nearly 63,000 tourists visited the site during this holiday period. The hot weather this year attracted a large number of visitors to Koh Lao Town, As estimated by the town, Kulo welcomed over 300,000 tourists during the 5-day holiday. Additionally, the intense heat during this holiday season led to a great influx of people and tourists to the western Nghệ An tourist attractions such as Pha Lai Dam, Khe Cam Waterfall in Con Cuông District, Seventh Floor Waterfall, Sao Va Waterfall in Quế Phong District, and Liep Waterfall in Thanh District for cooling off and relaxation.
The government has assigned the Interior Ministry to complete a decree on wage regime for officials, civil servants, and the armed forces in May to create basis for wage policy reforms from July. Earlier, the government issued Resolution 01, featuring important directives related to wage reform. In the resolution, the government requires synchronous, comprehensive, and effective implementation of wage policy reforms in accordance with Resolution number 27 of the Central Executive Committee. At the same time, clearly defining the responsibilities of each ministry, sector, locality, and leaders to implement the salary policy reform from July 1st. A new decision on the mechanism for adjusting the average retail electricity price, issued by the Prime Minister, stipulates that from May 15, 2024, the price of electricity will be adjusted every 3 months instead of every 6. If the average retail price of electricity to increase by 3 to 5%, EVN was entitled to decide on adjustments. The Ministry of Industry and Trade has the authority to increase prices by 5 to 10%, while any adjustment exceeding 10% requires the Prime Minister's decision. The Prime Minister has tasked the Ministry of Industry and Trade to guide EVN in calculating the average electricity selling price, as well as monitoring and supervising the electricity price adjustment, while the Ministry of Finance will coordinate with the Ministry of Industry and Trade as the state management agency on pricing.
Instead of sticking to a single job, many young people nowadays opt to take on multiple jobs in the same time in order to increase their income and gain more experiences for self-development. More in the story.
24 years old, Nguyen Gun Bin believes that being young entails hard work. He diversifies his income sources by engaging in various professions, from creating content on TikTok to running an online clothing business. This lifestyle brings happiness and satisfaction to this young man.
For me, working sometimes brings joy. One job helps me enhance my thinking, creativity, and relationships while maintaining financial stability. Another job allows me to pursue my passions and relax after stressful hours.
The side hustle now becomes a familiar concept. The fourth industrial revolution has opened up new career paths for people. I am currently working as a master of ceremonies, a model, and a live streamer. Handling multiple roles at once requires me to study and update my knowledge constantly so that I can adapt to different jobs. Today, there are many occupational fields with distinct characteristics, but regardless of age and choice of physical or mental work, loving your career and working with enthusiasm and passion always brings you joy and happiness.
The last story just ended our program today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye and see you later.